Hello my wonderful royals and welcome to my YouTube channel Brit K-Pop Reacts, and today I am making a little request of you guys. Now, I don't know how many of you will see this, hopefully quite a few, but if you do see this, I am doing next week my top 20 list. So it's the top 20 K-pop girl group / artist songs of the year 2020. That is the list I am doing. I will be doing it in two parts. It says countdown, so I'll be doing two parts, 20 to 11 in part 1 and then part 2 with the top 10. So that is the plan next week, which I'm very, very excited about. I finished my list last night. It's subject to change, of course, but I'm very excited about doing it for you guys. And an idea I had, and the more I think about it, the more excited I am about doing this idea, is to incorporate you guys and your guys' lists, if you have any. I did post a community post about this that you may have already seen, but basically the idea I had was to, as I say, incorporate your guys' list. So basically I'd ask you guys to give me a top 20 list or a top 10 list. Either would be fine, no less than that really. It has to be top 10 or 20 ideally. But basically the idea would be that you guys post your top 10s / 20s in the comments below on this video, or indeed you can send me DMs on like Twitter or Instagram. I'll put those up there for you now on my social medias. If you're not comfortable with putting them in the comments, you can send me them via DMs and things like that. But basically you guys send me those lists and I sort of put them all together via some sort of point system and come up with a kind of final subscriber top 20 list that I can basically do alongside my own. So when I'm doing my reaction, when I'm doing my countdown, I'd basically say, right, my number 20 is this, and then I'd say the subscriber top 20 is this. So that is kind of how I would put it together, and that is my plan. And I just really like the idea of doing it. I think it'd be a nice way to incorporate you guys into it and to find out what you guys think. And as I say, this is obviously very opinionated. My top 20 will be my opinion, and opinions differ greatly. So I'll be really intrigued to see what the subscribers' opinions are versus my own. So that is essentially the plan. Of course, it's only if you're comfortable with doing that. I know some people don't come up with top 10. Some people find it really difficult to come up with lists like that, which is absolutely fine. You know, if you'd rather not, then by all means don't. If I don't get enough kind of response from if I don't get enough lists, then I just won't do it. I'd probably need at least 10 realistically to do it. So as I say, if you are interested in doing it, by all means please get involved. It would be awesome. But as I say, if I don't have enough, I just won't do it. It's not a major deal, but I just thought it'd be a nice idea. Now there are a few little kind of rules and things that go along with this, so I will go through those. It does have to be a top 20 / top 10, so there has to be an order to it. I know some people like to kind of say in no particular order, these are my top 10, which is fine usually, but for this specifically, there does need to be an order. So it does need to be number 1, number 2, number 3, down to 10 or 20, because that's the only way I'd need that to corroborate and put it all together into one list. So there does need to be an order to it. Also, another thing I will say is that it is purely a girl group / female solo artist list. So it won't be incorporating boy groups or male artists. The reason for that is because I don't really know any of them. At this point, I'm not a boy group stan. I do intend obviously to get more into boy groups and things in the future, but at the moment I've only started to delve into a couple of them, and certainly in terms of this year's releases, I don't know anything. I don't know any of them, so I couldn't realistically put together a boy group list. So it is purely just girl groups and female solo artists. And the other sort of major thing that I will say is no B-sides, so only title tracks and main releases. The reason for that is because basically it would be very, very complicated if I were to include B-sides, and far too stressful for me. So I've not done a B-side list. A B-side list will be completely different, and also I've not listened to a lot of the albums this year, so a lot of the B-side tracks from different groups and things I've not heard. So I feel like it'd be unfair to do a B-side list because there's so many that I've not heard. So it is purely just title tracks, main releases. Now there are a few sort of little exceptions to the rule with that. Any sort of release that has a main MV I've counted. So Luna Star is a good example of that. That is technically a B-side track because it's on the album, but I have included it because it's been released with a main MV attached to it, and it feels more like a main release. Twice as Cry for Me was released recently. That was released without an MV, but it's still a main release. It's still a song that was released separately as a single. So I still class that as a main release. So I've still taken both of those under consideration. Stuff that I've not taken under consideration are like special clips. So things like Dreamcatcher are a good example. They release things like Red Sun and Break the Wall and stuff like that with special clips. I've not included them because I see them more as B-side tracks, and if they were released with full MVs, I probably would consider them in the same way that I do Lunar Star, but because they've just been released with special clips, I've not. I know it's very loose ruling, I realise this, but these are just the rules I'm sticking to, and I'm just letting you guys know so that you're aware of what I'm doing. And that is basically it, guys. So thank you so much for watching this video, and please, as I say, if you're interested, drop your list in the comments below, or indeed message me on social media. I'd love to get a decent response to this. It'd be awesome to be able to do it, to be able to incorporate your guys' ideas, and I'm really interested in seeing your guys sort of lists and things, because it, like I say, it is very opinionated, and I'm fully aware of this, and my opinions are going to be completely different to other people's, and that's awesome. That's what I love that about music and things, and about K-pop. So I really look forward to seeing your responses and hearing what you think. But as I say, drop your lists in the comments below. I'll put them all together, and hopefully it will all work out nicely for me doing my list. As I say, I will drop them next week. It'll probably be around sort of the New Year time, so maybe New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, or the 30th and the 31st. I'm not entirely sure yet, but if you try and get them done within the next, and sent within the next few days, I realise it's a bit short notice. It's hard. I know personally it's very hard to come up with these lists. But as I say, if you could, that would be awesome. Thank you so much for watching, guys. And as always, I'll see you next time. Sange, I love you all.